Hello, I'm Mr. Ford, and today we're going to be looking at interpreting Key Stage 3 reports. First of all, where we can access the reports. So the reports can be accessed by parents through Sims Parent in the reports section. This can be done either from a web browser or the app itself. Students also have access through their Sims student account, again in the reports section. So first of all, the first bits of information we get the personal details, plus we get their Key Stage 2 prior attainment. So the students sat their SATs back in primary school, and these are their maths and reading scores. On the back of the report, it gives a bit of information about these. So these scores are between 80 and 120 with a national benchmark of 100. So each student will have different scores. We use the average between both the maths and reading score. This links on to the progress indicator. So our progress indicator is personalised to each student based on the Key Stage 2 attainment which came in. So this student, for example, is quite a high ability student. In fact, they're a very high ability student with really good scaled scores. And as you can see in the majority of subjects here, they have expected progress. One thing I am going to focus on is expected in terms of the comments. These are the comments you can expect on the report. One thing I want to make really clear is expected is really good. Our expectation at Sandbach, so to be expected, we want all students to progress at a higher rate than those nationally. To meet our expected criteria, the students need to make progress at a higher rate than those with similar Key Stage 2 prior attainment nationally. So our school traditionally achieves much higher than the vast majority of schools, hence our high expectations. And what you can see there's a description for each of the other criteria. One thing to note is with students who have high scaled scores, we are expecting these students to achieve the top grades when they get through to GCSE, when they get through to the end of Key Stage 4. So it's highly likely that they will get expected. It's unlikely that they will get many above or outstanding progress because we're expecting those to achieve those top grades. The next section we're going to look at is the Ready to Learn section, and this is the most important part of the report. It's looking at how the student's performing in school and at home. So what we've got there, 3 sections: effort, behaviour and homework. So behaviour is how they're behaving in the classroom. Okay, all of these have grades 1 to 4, and this is what they mean. So 1 is outstanding, that is quite literally they are a model student. 2 is expected. Expected again, 2 is we have really high expectations in terms of behaviour, in terms of effort, in terms of homework. So 2 is a really good score. 3 is when we start getting a little bit of concern as it's less than expected. So we've got an example there for RS in this made-up report. Homework seems to be an issue. We've also got that they're not putting the right amount of effort into drama. And then 4 is where we have really significant concerns. So if it was for behaviour, that they're disruptive or something along those lines. If it was for effort, that they're not putting the levels of effort required to achieve their potential. So Ready to Learn really is the most important section. That gives you a really good understanding of how the student is performing in each of the individual subjects. We then have attendance, and we have attendance for each individual subject. So if they've had specific days off, they might have different attendance because they may have missed, in this case, more geography lessons, also more art lessons I can see, than any other subject. As I say, and I've previously mentioned, on the back we have plenty of other information. One thing I will mention is some of the practical subjects. So as our baselines are based upon academic results, so between the maths and the reading score, for some of the more practical subjects, so for example the performing arts, PE, potentially art, which are based more on practical assessment, there may be slight discrepancies between the progress indicator and that of other subjects. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll be really good at PE, for example, because you're good at maths and reading. But we do measure progress consistently between all of the subjects. I hope that makes sense, and if you do have any questions, please do contact the school.